Shalom! Welcome to this episode of MTV Jr, the greatest show for kids in the entire world. Trust me, I'm telling you that. Today, we are going to have a great show. We're going to do so many fun things I'm going to tell you about soon. But of course, we're going to have a chance to win raffle tickets. And with the raffle tickets, we're going to have a chance to win prizes. Okay, so let's see. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Uri Pilichowski. If you've seen other shows, you've seen me, and you know my family. This is my family. I'm there in the white shirt and the black glasses, just like I'm wearing now with the kippah on my head. Next to me in the red skirt and the black shirt is my wife, Eliza. And those are my 6 wonderful, beautiful children who I love so much. 5 girls, 1 boy. You can see which is the 1 boy. He's wearing the white shirt like his father, like me. This is my family, and let me show you where we live. We live in a place called MTV Jr. If you see the red balloon, that's where we live, and this is how beautiful it looks. This is the view from my house. It is so stunning, so beautiful. We get to live in Eretz Yisrael in a place called MTV Jr, which is right near Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. We are so lucky. Okay, well, let's discuss what are we going to do on today's show. Well, first of all, you're going to have a lot of chances to win raffle tickets, lots of raffle tickets. And if your raffle ticket gets, you can win a great prize. So that's the first great thing that we're going to do. Okay, then we're going to take 2 trips today to see 2 things. First, we're going to tell a story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and we're going to see his special hiding place, his special cave. I don't want to give away too much before we see the story, but that's going to be our first thing. And the second, then we're going to do the Hebrew word of the day. The Hebrew word of the day, and if you send me the Hebrew word of the day, which you'll see how to do that soon, you can win a raffle ticket. And then we're going to go to a real Jewish wedding. Now, I have to tell you, a real Jewish wedding is very loud. So sometimes you're going to be able to hear me, sometimes you won't, but you'll always get to see great video of a real Jewish wedding we're going to get to go to, and we're going to have such a great time. Then we're going to have the memory game where you can win even more tickets. And then after the memory game, you're going to have a chance, one last chance to win a couple of raffle tickets with one last question. So that's what we're going to see on today's show. Okay, I know it's exciting. So let's first and foremost, the first thing we're going to do is let's go to our story about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his special hiding spot. But as you know, when we do this every week, in order to do that, I have to go out of my room. So I have to go. Oh, takes so much time. We go, oh, okay, whoa. I didn't even realize I did it. So I went to the story room. Now I'm in the green room. Now we got to go to the story room. Okay, you ready? Here we go. This is going to be a lot. This is a great story. You guys are going to love this. Here it is. Shalom. Today I want to tell you an amazing story. Okay, and the story takes place in this cave right here. Do you see the entrance to the cave? This is a very special cave in the north, in the top of Israel, okay? And I want to teach you an amazing story about this cave. This cave belonged to somebody named Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who you might have heard of, okay? So that's who this cave belongs to. Now, let me tell you the story behind this cave. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was sitting with a bunch of his friends in Eretz Yisrael at a time when the mean Romans were in charge of Eretz Yisrael, and they did not like the Jews. And if a Jew did something wrong, they would kill the Jew. It was a very scary time for Jews. Today in Israel, it's not scary at all. Today, we're in charge of ourselves, so we don't have to worry. But back then, it was very scary. Shimon Bar Yochai was standing around, and somebody said, isn't it great how the Romans came to Israel, and they built all these new roads, and it makes it so much easier for us. And other people talked about different aspects of whether it was good or bad. But Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said they only did it for themselves. They don't care about the Jews. They hate the Jews. Well, the Romans heard about it, and they heard about what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, and they said, we're going to go and we're going to kill Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai because he said bad things about us. He said that we only built the roads for ourselves and not to help other people. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai had to go and hide. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son Eliezer ran, and they hid in this cave. See how small the opening is? It's very small. You could walk right by here. Today, there's a sign on the cave, so now you know where it is. But before, there wasn't the sign, so you could walk right by this cave and not know that anybody was inside. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son Eliezer ran into the cave, and they hid there. And they hid there until they knew the Romans didn't want to kill them anymore. How long did it take? You're not going to believe it if I tell you. It wasn't a week, it wasn't a month, it wasn't even a year. It was 13 years they had to hide in this cave. 13 years, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son hid in this cave. What do they eat? So you can't see it in the picture, but right outside the cave, there was a tree that produced a fruit called a carob. It's not so delicious, but for 13 years, all Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son Eliezer ate was carobs from that tree. They didn't have any visitors. What do they do all day long in the cave? Well, all day long for 13 years, all they did was study Torah. That's all they did. They just studied Torah together. A father and his son, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son, Rabbi Eliezer, sat in this cave and studied Torah together for 13 years. After 13 years, word came that the Romans had left Eretz Yisrael and they no longer wanted to kill Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that he was safe if he left the cave. So him and his son Eliezer left the cave, and they were walking around all over Eretz Yisrael, and they saw people working, and they said, wait a minute, why are they working? You have to study Torah. Torah is most important. You don't have time to work. Everybody has to study Torah just like we did for 13 years in the cave. All you should do is study Torah. And Rabbi Eliezer, the Gemara says, who tells the story, was so upset, fire came out of his eyes and burnt somebody up that was working. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai looked at what his son did, and he said, whoa, Eliezer, we can't do that. That's not okay. We have to go back into the cave and calm down. And they went back into the cave for a whole year. They stayed in this cave. And after a year, Eliezer was calm and he walked out and he understood that people don't just learn Torah all day long. They also go to work and they also have fun and they also cook and clean their houses even, because not everybody gets to live in a cave like this. A lot of people wouldn't want to live in a cave like this. So when Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came out of the cave, they were a lot calmer, they were more understanding of other people, and they were able to teach other people Torah and become great, great teachers of Torah for other people because they were understanding. And that teaches us a great lesson in this story, that it's not enough just to learn Torah. You have to be very calm and very nice to people and make sure that they want to hear your Torah. Isn't that a great story? What an amazing, amazing story. Okay. Great story. Okay, so now we are going to go back to the regular place that we go to. Okay, and let's see how we can do that very quickly. Here we go. We're going to go back to our room, and it's time for us to play a game, our first game, to win a prize. Okay, here we go. You ready? The first thing you need, though, is a pen. You need to have a pen, okay? And then we are going to write down the word of the day and the email to send it to so that you can win a prize. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So here we go. Everybody make sure you have a pen, or pause and get a pen and then push play. And today's word of the day, just like we saw in the story, is ma'ara. See, here's the word ma'ara, and the word means cave. This is a picture of a beautiful cave in a place called Vietnam. It's a very pretty cave. So the word of the day is ma'ara, cave. If you write down ma'ara, write it down. Here we go. Okay. And then you send it to this email address right here. You can win a raffle ticket. And that is very, very exciting. That's the first chance you have today to win a raffle ticket if you send the word of the day, Ma'ara, a cave, to this email address right here. Okay, now we are ready to take our next trip. Our next trip is going to be a little loud. Okay, so get ready, because it's okay to be a little loud sometimes, especially when it's a big mitzvah like a wedding. And we're going to go see a wedding. Now, when I filmed the wedding on our trip, I try to explain things. So sometimes you can hear me and sometimes you can't. But watch how happy everybody is in the wedding. Here we go. You guys ready? Okay, watch. Oh, wait, I have to leave first. I forgot. Oh, I always forget. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Shalom. Today we're going to go on a trip to a wedding, a real wedding with a chatan, a groom, that's the boy getting married, and a kala, a bride, that's the girl getting married. We're going to see different parts of the wedding. Now, I have to tell you, the trip is very noisy because there's a lot of wind and there's a lot of music being played. So sometimes it's hard to hear. So what's going to be special about this trip is just watching. We're going to see a chatan put a ring on the kala's finger. We're going to see a chatan give a ketubah. We're going to see dancing, and we're going to see singing, and we're going to see a lot of joy. And this might be the first wedding you ever get to see. And we were allowed right inside the wedding. So it's important. Chatan, kala, bride, groom, boy, girl. And they're going to get married, and we're going to get to watch it. Should be a lot of fun. Now, the chatan and the kala drink wine. Then the rabbi, the Masadar Kedushin, just made a bracha, and the kala's mother is going to help her drink so she doesn't spill them on her dress. Now they're going to hear the ring, and the rabbi is looking at the ring to make sure it's worth a certain amount of money called a pruta. Pointing out who the witnesses are. Now they're going to do the 7 brachot, called Sheva brachot. The first one is Hatan's father. They gave it to honor him with the first 2 brachot. Okay, I hope you like that. Hope that was a lot of fun. Okay, and it's not every day that we get to go to a wedding, right? So I hope you saw all the dancing and all the joy and how much fun it was and how happy everybody was that the Khatan, the groom, and the Kala were getting married. Okay, so now we are going to play 2 more game, well, 1 more game and then 1 more question so you can win raffle tickets. Now is a memory game. So you want to take out your pen and paper and I'm going to tell you 5 things. I'm going to say them slowly, then quickly, and then slowly again. And if you write down all 5 things and send them to this email address, you can win a prize. So here we go. Are you ready? Okay, here's the first thing. Lag Ba'omer. Okay. Second, bonfire. Bonfire. The next, kala, like we just saw. The next thing is a haircut. And then chatan, like we just saw. Okay. Now I'm going to say the same 5 things quickly. Lag Bomer, bonfire. Kala, haircut. Chatan. And now I'm going to say them slowly again. Lag Bomer, bonfire. Kala, haircut. Chatan. Okay. And for the last part of the show, your last chance, and here you can win 2 raffle tickets. Send me what this week's Parsha is. You send me what this week's Parsha is to this email address, you can win. Let's do 2 raffle tickets this week. Okay, so that's our show. Don't forget that in Shul, every Shabbat, there's a special kids newsletter. It looks just like this. It's got games, it's got chances to win prizes, it even has jokes. You can see there's jokes right here. Funny, 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 ha jokes. And then there's games like over here. You can see there's a word search and there's questions and you can win prizes and you can have a great time. So don't forget, I hope to see you next week for our next show. Shalom.